ever felt terrified of failing? Maybe you stopped yourself from trying something new just because you feared messing up. What if I told you that failure is actually the secret to success? Let's talk about it. Hey there, my amazing listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Simple English Made Easy. I'm Elahe, and today we are talking about something that holds so many people back. Something that has probably stopped you from chasing a dream at least once in your life. Fear of failure. Let's be real. How many times have you wanted to try something new, but a little voice in your head whispered, "What if I fail?" Maybe you wanted to apply for a dream job, start learning a new language, or even just speak up in a meeting. But then, doubt took over. You imagined all the ways it could go wrong, and instead of trying, you just didn't. Well, today we're going to break that cycle. We're going to talk about why we fear failure, how some of the most successful people in the world turn failure into fuel, and most importantly, how you can do the same. So, are you ready? Let's dive in. Why are we so afraid of failing? Fear of failure isn't just about the actual failure. It's about what it means to us. Here are the 3 biggest reasons we fear failing. 1. What others might think. We are afraid people will laugh, judge, or think we are not good enough. Spoiler alert, most people are too busy worrying about their own lives. 2. Perfectionism. We tell ourselves, if I can't do it perfectly, I shouldn't do it at all. But perfection is a myth. Nobody gets it right on the first try. 3. Bad past experiences. Maybe you failed before and it hurt. Maybe someone told you you're not good enough and that voice still echoes in your head. But here's the truth. Every successful person has failed multiple times. In fact, failure is a necessary step towards success. Let me prove it to you. We are gonna talk about famous failures that turned into success. Let's talk about some people you definitely know, people who failed so many times that most of us would have given up, but they didn't, and because they kept going, they changed the world. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When someone asked him about it, he said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, was rejected 12 times by publishers. Imagine if she had given up after the first rejection. No Hogwarts, no magic, no childhood memories for millions of people. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time, was cut from high school basketball team. Can you imagine if he had quit basketball forever after that? But instead, he used that failure as motivation and became a legend. So, here's the lesson. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Now the question is, how do you overcome your fear of failure? Let's talk about that. How to overcome fear of failure step by step. Here's what you do today to start breaking free from fear. 1. Change your mindset. Instead of thinking, "What if I fail?" ask yourself, "What if I learn?" Every mistake is a lesson that brings you closer to success. 2. Take small steps. If you're afraid of speaking English, don't try to give a long speech on the first day. Start with one simple sentence per day. Build confidence little by little. Number 3. Focus on growth, not perfection. Nobody is perfect. Not even the people you admire most. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to keep improving. Number 4. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Most of the time, failure isn't as bad as we imagine. If you fail, still the world end? No, you'll learn. You'll try again and you'll get better. Number 5. Surround yourself with supportive people. Find people who encourage you, not people who bring you down. A strong support system makes all the difference. Let's talk about the hidden gift inside failure. Here's something we don't often realize. Failure is not just about losing or making mistakes. It's actually a gift. Think about it. Every time you fail, you learn something valuable. You discover what doesn't work. You build resilience. You realize that failure isn't fatal. And over time, this makes you unstoppable. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I had a friend who wanted to become a public speaker, but every time he stood in front of a crowd, his voice shook, his hands trembled, and his mind went blank. After one particularly embarrassing speech, he told me, "Maybe I'm just not meant for this." But instead of quitting, he analyzed what went wrong. He practiced harder. He took small steps, starting with tiny speeches in front of just a few friends. Fast forward a few years and now he speaks confidently in front of thousands of people. The lesson? Failure is not a sign to stop. It's a sign to adjust. It's life's way of telling you, hey, try a different approach. Alright, my friend, let's take a deep breath together. Inhale, exhale. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Picture yourself 5 years from now. You're looking back at today. What will you see? Will you see someone who let fear hold them back? Or will you see someone who took a chance, made mistakes, learned and grew? Because here's the thing. Failure is not the enemy. Regret is. Wouldn't it be better to try, fail and learn than to never try at all and wonder, what if? What if you had started that project? What if you had spoken up? What if you had believed in yourself just a little more? Let's be honest, no one has it all figured out. Every person you admire has faced moments of doubt. But do you know what separates them from the rest? They kept going. They refused to let fear decide their future. And you're capable of the same thing. You are stronger than your doubts. You are bigger than your failures. And deep down, you know it. So, here's my challenge for you. Do one thing this week that scares you. Just one. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting. Maybe it's signing up for that class you've been thinking about. Or maybe it's finally starting that project you've been putting off. And when that little voice of doubt whispered, "What if I fail?" I want you to smile and say, "Then I'll get back up and try again." Because that's how success is built. One brave step at a time. Thank you so much for listening. If today's episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who needs a little push. And hey, if you take on my challenge, DM me and tell me about it. I'd love to hear your story. Until next time, stay fearless, stay curious, and keep chasing your dreams.